If you're anything like us, sometimes you hear about certain things and pretend to know what they are for the sake of conversation, when, in reality, you have no idea what they are. Interest rate cuts feel like one of those things. With the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates by 0.5 point back in September and signaling more cuts could come throughout the latter half of the year, business owners need to know how this will impact their organization. Hi, I'm Patrick with Payday HCM, and in this video we'll go over everything you need to know about interest rate cuts and how these actions impact your business. So before we dive into how interest rates can affect your business, we first need to understand what they are and how they work. When people talk about Federal Reserve raising or lowering interest rates, they're actually talking about the federal funds rate, the interest rate that is applied to financial institutions when borrowing or loaning money overnight. Basically, banks that need money to meet the Federal Reserve requirement ask the banks that have too much money if they can have some. The banks with lots of money agree, but since it's a loan, there's going to be some interest. That interest is the federal funds rate. When we talk about the Federal Reserve raising or lowering interest rates, it's slightly misleading as the Fed doesn't necessarily actually set the rate. Instead, the Fed sells or buys government bonds. In other words, it takes or gives banks money in order to raise or lower the federal funds rate. But why do they do this? And what does that mean for your business? Well, the Fed hopes that by cutting interest rates, you, as a business owner, will be more likely to spend. Should you spend? Well, a lower fund rate can encourage you to do so, as it is aimed at lowering interest rates for businesses and consumers alike. These kinds of cuts can be especially beneficial for those looking to start a business. Not only that, but these moves can also impact the stock market, as stocks tend to spike higher following an interest rate cut. And while the Fed's strategy surrounding interest rate cuts over the past few years has largely been guided by inflation, September's cut also showcases another factor that can motivate the Fed to make these kinds of moves: hiring. Prior to the 0.5 point cut, the job market was entering a noticeably cool period. With interest rate cuts, businesses can access capital at lower rates, encouraging expansion. This largely translates to businesses bringing on more employees. Now that you have everything you need to know about interest rate cuts, it's time to get out there and take advantage of them. Of course, you're not alone. Let Payday HCM continue to help you on your journey with onboarding and hiring solutions. Hit like and subscribe to get more info like this, and ring that bell to stay notified about all of our videos.